Alright, Game Leapers, what's going on? It's the Cum, and in today's video, we're going to be jizzing, mate, because we're going to be talking about the 3 best champions, bro. What is this intro, mate? We're going to be talking about 3 best champions each roll for 13.5. These are all correct, by the way. Like, legit, I've looked into the future, mate. I've seen the prophecy. These 3 champions are going to be the best in their respective roles. What you guys have to do if you actually want to improve and get elo is sign up to the website. I'm not just saying this either, by the way. Like, I know for a fact the people who are subbed to the website and get exclusive access to our library of content, and those are videos made by Challenger players and coaches, they actually improve. You guys sitting here watching YouTube videos, we're going to be doing this for years, bro. I'm going to be 50, you guys are going to be like probably 40 something, and we're still going to be talking about patch notes and all that, and you're still going to be in silver. So check out the website, description, comment section. Now let's get into the actual champions, right? Top lane. First of all, we have Keneen. If you guys are not playing Lil Kenny in 13.5, you guys are missing a trick because there are some massive buffs coming to Kennen next patch. So the fact your Q is going to be on a 4-second cooldown at level 9, that's going to be really fun to play against, isn't it? Also, your Q's AP ratio is going up by 10%. That's also not going to be very obnoxious for any kind of like melee champion in the top lane. I also had some guy recently say that Kennen was like bad into Jax. Bro, you guys are smoking something in the comment section, eh? Like, Kennen has typically been very good into Jax and picked into him. It's just that Jax is giga broken, and guess what? He's the next champion we have to talk about. And by the way, Kennen is also getting more minion damage in his E, so your wave clear will be a little bit better. So yeah, there's that to take into account as well. But Kennen, yeah, Rocket Bell, Sork Shoes, you'll be sweet. And yeah, Jax, a champion who doesn't really like playing against Kennen because of the range and because he can stun you when you jump in, he can disengage very easily because of the movement speed, and his ultimate does cock you as well. Getting changed CC'd as Jax, it's kind of a big weakness, especially when you start team fighting, right? But anyways, Jax, you know, just innately speaking here, is still incredibly broken. Just give the helicopter a spin and you'll be right, mate. If you're running Lethal Tempo or Grasp the Undying in hard matchups, right? The champion is just giga busted. He's also not getting touched in 13.5. So yeah, Jax is number 2, but he's been to number 1 by, well, ever since like 12-10, right? The durability meta. Darius has probably been on this countdown forever, like seriously. Until they actually like change the meta somehow or giga nerf Darius, like this champion is going to be here no matter what, indefinitely. With your W on a 5-second, right? Your Hemorrhage stacking, the Conqueror stacking, it's all the same, right? Like, just pick Darius. Right, now, moving into the jungle. Number 3 is Lee Sin. And I know what you guys are thinking. Ease, did you just see the dude I had on Lee Sin in Silver NA? Bro, it's Silver NA. Like, I don't care. Like, if you can play Lee Sin well, because of the recent buffs, especially the ones to your Q's AD ratio, and you can go something like Eclipse, or if you're going Gore Drinker and then Black Cleaver, which got buffed too, everything around Lee Sin, well, even Lee Sin himself, has been improved in the last couple of patches. If you can play this champion, I'd even put him number 1, to be honest. And he is probably the best jungler in higher reloads because people get the most out of this champion. So if you can squeeze the most juice out of the Blind Monk, pick him in 13.5. He's still going to be insane. Number 2, if you want some AP in the jungle, Evelynn is probably your best bet. I don't really like this champion too much because she's too reliant on hitting level 4, but if you can pick her when you have strong laners, so you might have something like an Aurelia mid, you might have like a Darius top lane, or Renekton, something like this, you might have like a big engaged support like Nautilus, or maybe Pyke might be one, right? They can protect you in the early game to help you scale. Those team compositions are unreal to play in as Evelynn. It just gets very sketchy if you have like Soraka Vayne bot lane and you have like Seraphine or something really like kind of AFK mid lane who's not going to do too much. If you have champions like that on your team, you're going to want to leave the game. So I just thought I'd give you guys like kind of a general team composition tip for Evelynn. But yeah, she's insane at the moment. The buffs that came into her, I think they were maybe in the preseason, something like that. Whenever they were kind of recent. They've actually made her good. So yeah, if you want some AP in the jungle, pick Evelynn. Now, number 1, this is a champion who got nerfed in 13.4, J4. Oh my goodness, for my father, the king, he got nerfed. His W's cooldown went down 1 second, and you're losing a bit of attack damage right in your W as well. Does this really matter? No. No, it doesn't. This champion, even with these nerfs, is an S+ tier jungler in like every single elo. Bro, if you're not picking him, if he's not in your champion pool, what are you doing, mate? Now, obviously, J4 works best when you have like an engaged composition. Nautilus, Rakan, you have GP top lane with the ultimate. Vladimir, very good, synergizes with his Cataclysm. The champion is just too good at the moment. Gore Drinker, Black Cleaver, these items, just like I mentioned for Lee Sin, right? Even Gore Drinker giving you HP now and not just straight ability haste. It's really nice for these bruisers because you get a bit tankier as well. But yeah, J4, Evelynn, Lee Sin, the 3 junglers. Moving to the mid lane, one of those champions that works really well with Evelynn is Aurelia because you free up those passive junglers who just want to scale, right? Because you're early game strength. But Aurelia works with really anything. If you have an aggressive early game jungler who can come mid, you can invade the enemy jungle, you can put pressure on the map so much with this champion, and she does very well into so many mid laners at the moment. And because you can just go like Murtred, Wits End, something like this, you know, Bork, Shield Bow, oh, just get me out. Like, Aurelia's got to be here. Go and watch some Morel King YouTube videos as well if you really want to see how OP this champion is. Now, Vladimir is number 2. And I know what you guys are thinking again. Oh my god, how can this guy be here? He's not that OP. You guys know that Cosmic Drive is getting buffed next patch, so you're getting 90 AP. Not 65, 90. This item, as a rush, and we talked about this in yesterday's build video, if you go Cosmic Drive on Vladimir first into something like a Rocket Belt, mid lane Vlad is going to be absolutely insane. And if there are any Vladimir mains out there, let me know in the comment section what you think about the Cosmic Drive buffs. Are they going to make you broken? Because Vlad will still be the same champion, but I actually think just rushing this item will be insane for Vladimir. You'll come online so much sooner in a game because of the extra AP. You'll be one-shotting people more and more. But the number one mid laner, speaking about one-shotting people, we have Phase. Now, for the Fisherman in 13.5, this patch is going to be nuts because of the buffs that are coming in, right? So the fact you're getting all of the mana back from your W when you kill a minion, yeah? That's nice. You're not just going to run out of mana for pretty much no reason. You're actually going to get rewarded for farming with your W. But the big changes are to your E. Okay, so the fact, and the big one, the fact that your mana cost is going down in this, does this mean, I'm not sure yet, but does this mean you can finally just get rid of Ludens in your build? Can you just go straight damage now? Can you go Rocket Belt? Can you go Night Harvester like other assassins in the mid lane? This is the big question, and if the answer to that question is yes, you can go Rocket Belt, then the mid lane is just legit over. Unless you're playing into something like maybe a Galio, something that's really just like anti-AP or like dive, I guess, something like maybe Lysandra, something like this, right? Then yeah, it might be a little bit annoying picking Fizz, but he's going to be insane in 13.5. When you see him picked on the enemy team, everyone's going to start going crazy because he just looks super broken on paper with these buffs. But yeah, he is the best mid laner for 13.5. Now moving down to the bot lane, the AD carries, and two of these AD carries are getting changed in 13.5. The first of these is Xayah. Now your E is getting nerfed in terms of damage and also in terms of cooldown. These are kind of like important stats, I guess. And Xayah's win rate will drop a little bit. But you're still holding on to the attack speed buffs that Riot gave you a few patches ago, and you're still holding on to Navori Quick Blades as your second item spike. Think about bot lane as well at the moment and the synergies you have also against the enemy team, right? Xayah is a big cuck of an AD carry. If you see a Nautilus, you see a Blitzcrank, you see like some sort of engaged support, you see a J4 or a Lee Sin, all you have to do as Xayah is just press R, and that's it. You will one-shot everyone against these engagers, right? And they're picked a lot in solo queue at the moment. This champion has so much agency, so she is number 3. Maybe she could even be higher, but yeah, she is getting nerfed. Now, number 2 is Zeri. And lots of people have been in the comment section like telling me Zeri is like not broken. Bro, like, it's like the Lee Sin kind of theory, I guess. Like, yes, Lee Sin for like maybe the majority of elos, I guess, but I don't even want to disrespect silver gold Lee Sin players. Like, they might actually be good, and I'm sure like they can play the champion, right? And they win on it. But he's just played by so many people who don't actually like just know how to play the champion. It might be the same for Zeri as well. When Zeri is played by someone who can play the champion, she is giga busted. I would even put her number 1, but I'm legit scared of copying backlash from Woodon and Co in the comments. But she is number 2, and we talked yesterday about how you can go like Navori into Runan's Hurricane. It's really good against those engaged compositions. Super busted. It has like the highest win rate from the actual like combination of 3 items you can go. So consider that if you are picking Zeri, but she's number 2. Now, number 1 is a champion who's getting some huge buffs in 13.5. This is Jinx. Your attack speed ratio is getting buffed, which is the big one, right? Because you're going Kraken Slayer, Infinity Edge, you will be killing people a heck of a lot more because of this. Also at the moment, like Jinx isn't actually like weak. She's in a good position. You can get to the mid to late game, and remember, your late game is accelerated because it's 2 items now. It's not 3 like it used to be. Infinity Edge is off 40% crit. That's 2 major items. And I guess also the bust to your W, 2 of them. And of course your ultimate, pretty much turning back into a smite, so you'll be stealing dragons, rifts, and barons and all that. Jinx is going to be picked and banned in 13.5. Now, the last role to talk about, guys, and if you are enjoying this content, please make sure to leave a like down below. And yeah, the support. Number 3 is Nautilus. Engage meta, right? The recent buffs to Nautilus, in particular, to your passive damage, your E's base damage, and the buffs to your W, have made this, honestly, I mean, Nautilus is probably just like the best hook champion in the game, but there are lots of others, so if you want to substitute Naut with like Blitzcrank or Pike, go for it. But Nautilus, objectively speaking, across every elo, he is the number 1 engage support. Now, number 2 is Annie, and I know what you're thinking, like Annie's an engage support. Well, she can also be like a disrupting support if you want, because champions who come into you as Annie are you just for off a day. Like if you're against a Nautilus or someone who's close range, they can never really touch you or your teammates because you just stun them and one-shot them. It's really uninteractive if you are playing like Nautilus or something into Annie. That's why, you know, if you pick Ashe or Lux or Xerath into Annie, they absolutely crush her because she can never get onto you. But again, regardless of matchup, this champion, even though she got nerfed, right, doesn't matter. The E giving a movement speed and shield to your teammates, Tibbers, the actual pressure you have with your stun and the ultimate, even at level 1, right, where you have 4 stacks, the champion is just too powerful still. Now, speaking of a champion who's going to be too powerful, 13.5, guys, the number 1 support. She might even be the number 1 champion, and get me out if she is, I'm going to retire, bro. It is Yuumi. I don't want to talk any more about this. If you really want the in-depth changes, go and Google it or something. I don't know. Go and look at something. I don't want to talk about the champion. You have a directed ultimate. Your best friend is going to be more empowered. You're still untargetable. Right, that's it. I've had enough. Anyway, if you did enjoy the video, guys, leave a like down below. Please make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss our future Season 13 content. This has been EZ. Peace.